Hey folks, how's it going tonight? Everything going good? Or this afternoon? Tonight? This morning? No matter what your time zone is. I forget. There's always sons and daughters. I have Big Sarge in the house and Baz, and everybody's in a different time zone. So here's what's up. I wanted to make a show on something. Travel the road you are supposed to. Welcome, traveler. What I mean by that, it's a thought process that I have come to for a long time. Here's what it means. A lot of people will say, when you talk about a traveler, here's something a lot of people don't understand. It's not the communist fellow traveler. You can say you're a fellow traveler to an actual traveler, but it's not what that means. A traveler is somebody who's a professional tourist. They go places nobody else wants to go. They might even have purpose and mission. With that being said, I've had two epic shows, in my opinion. You guys can differ with me. And we're all good with that. Hey, Cold Warrior. Damn it. Glad you're here, brother. Been trying to get a hold of you for a while. So we will talk, offline later. Anyways, I got Cold Warrior finally. He's a brother. He's a good man. So here's my thoughts. Just being honest. A fellow traveler is a communist. We all know that. But a traveler is not. A traveler lives his life. That's kind of the way we are all supposed to do this. Now, you travel the road you're supposed to. That road you're supposed to travel is the one that you have decided to take. There may be training, mentors, all this stuff. Yesterday's conversation with Sean, he's an epic man. I wish you guys all could meet him. And please, if you ever get a chance to, meet up with Sean. He understands what I'm saying, and I'm sure everybody right now in the chat understands what I'm saying. There is a time and a place where you have taken a decision. Remember, I've always said you don't make a decision, you take one. And you decide you want to go down that road less traveled, but you are still forging a road. That road is important to yourself and to others that may want to follow the trail you blaze. What I mean by that is think about it a little differently, where you have a machete in your hand going through a jungle or a wood line, cutting down the burrs and everything, and you're walking through it. That is a trailblazer, a traveler. You're going to see things that maybe you're uncomfortable with. And that's okay. It's never a problem to do this. But so many people fear that road. Not the road less traveled, the road you trailblaze on. That's why I say, welcome traveler. Because I believe on my page, everybody is a traveler. A traveler. How are we going to describe this to you? You may have a different function, a different thought, a different process that you want to achieve. But in the end, you want to achieve something. It may not even be for your government. It may not be for a political ideology. But you want to trailblaze. You want to be that traveler. Here's the thing. We have somehow come up in modernity with some weirdness that everybody wants to think that they have to hold to a certain line. That is the fallacy. If you hold to a certain line, you fail to glean and grasp every gold ring. Remember my sigil? My sigil is the raven grabbing that gold ring. It's up to you to find it. It's up to you to decide. Nobody decides for you. But you will. Fortunately or unfortunately for you. But the key is that you, even if you're under control of some sort, governmentally, journalistically, however you want to call it, you're deciding the path that you go down. What we have seen in modernity is we have seen common thought that becomes an echo chamber. Hey, Kate, how's it going? We have seen so many people, what they do is they just conform. They don't want to do the things they should want to do. That's the problem. When you say you're an American, do you understand Americanism? Do you understand what that means? Do you understand that the Americans were the counterculture? And Americanism was also the counterculture. Like punk rock. Yeah, I was a fan of it back in the day. Back in the 80s. The reality is, how are you going to live your life? What are you going to do? Are you going to conform? Are you going to be the guy or gal that says, I believe everything you want to sell me? Or are you going to be that free folk, that free person that says, I'll listen to both the left and the right, and I will come to my decision and take that decision from my own thought? That's the issue. With that being said, there are some interesting points on the Traveler. The Traveler looks like everybody and nobody. Not distinct. Not somebody that you can easily point to and say, that's a Traveler. That's somebody doing something. No, he may be doing something, but you might never know what he's doing. That's the key. You may not know if that person is working for or against what you think they are. It's kind of interesting because a Traveler has an open mind. It's kind of what back in the old days, back when I was a liberal, I was taught to think. Was it your mind was open, but not so open your brains fucking fell out of your head? Kind of interesting thought process, isn't it? Yep, I think all of us, on my page at least, are like that. We want to find truth. We want to find where truth lives. There is a certain portion of people that will just gobble up everything from one level, the other level, left, right, which I believe is, and I've always said this, it's a false paradigm. It's a circle. And we know where that circle meets. Death. The funny part for me is death is the thing that will happen to all of us. It really will. And when you accept it, you defeat it. I've had a very good time the past 2 days that I've been able to. My lung infections hit me, so I had to backpedal this conversation because I know exactly, Baz, free-thinking patriots. For our own nations and our nation states, capital S. Now, I've seen something today, and I'm sure everybody on this thing has seen it too, where Facebook is not sharing anything. Well, they've been hacked. They've been hacked from the free-thinking states. Those that have pushed back. I can't share even this video on Facebook. No, wouldn't let me do it. There's something afoot. And that's why I say welcome, fellow travelers. You're not a fellow traveler communist. God forbid, if you were, you wouldn't be on my page. But you are a traveler. Remember, I've said this in other shows. I've got college. You'll never know what degree I attained. I don't brag about it. It's all bullshit. Because that piece of paper, that sheepskin, only the government cares about that. Or some corporation. It matters not in real life. I've seen a lot of people with degrees equal or below mine. And you should think, oh my God, this guy went to this college. Or this gal went to this college. Oh, they must know everything. No, they've been indoctrinated. It's not until you actually travel this big blue marble that we live on that spins freely. And yeah, I'm not a flat earther. So if you're a flat earther, I'm sorry I offended you. But I really don't care. It's not reality. I have flown high enough to see the curvature of the planet Earth. And it's not some little pizza pie that just goes in a circle around the sun. Which, how do you define the sun then, if there's no real round planet Earth? It's moronicy to me. But that's okay. You can have that if you wish. I'm not going to try to correct you. You're all adults. Take your own decisions. Fact remains that once you travel this big blue marble, you've gone overseas, you've gone on boat, plane, whatever you're traveling on, to do that, and you've seen other cultures, then you realize all cultures are not the same. And it's not about a race. It's about a culture. But nobody wants to talk about these things, do they? Sometimes ideological things make a difference. And a religion is not a religion when it dictates your law, judicial system, and the way you run your country. Those two things. If you're a communist, I'm definitely not going to stand by you. And if you want your religion to be the bulwark of who you are, I won't stand with you on that either unless you temper those things into, if you decide to come to America, which is all good, no matter where you come from, as long as you decide you will leave all that third and second world bullshit behind and come to the West and assimilate. Assimilation is the key. Now, I've probably lost a lot of you on this, and that's fine. But I'm telling the truth. Do I think there's a problem in the West? Hell yeah. I think there's a major problem in the West because we have not demanded this of the people that come to the West. And it has to be a demand. And if they don't meet up to that measure, they have to go home. It's just the way it's got to be. You don't just get a free pass and get to hang out and say you're quote unquote an American, which is a United States citizen, or an American if you're a Canadian citizen now because you've been brought in, or a German citizen because you've been brought in. If you're not assimilating, you're fucking up. Same thing in England. These things are the hard truths nobody wants to talk about. But I will talk about it. Just like Mexican citizens down south of the border with all these third and second world people coming up from South America. That's still an American, right? North or South American, that's what it is. But it's become a colloquialism to say, I'm American. Yeah, I am an American, but I'm also a United States citizen. Both those two continents are covered by that. That's where the game lies, where the fuckery is afoot. Nobody wants to talk about. You cannot bring the second and third world into a nation without having what's happening in San Francisco right now, where they now have the Browntown map, where people can pull up that application and see the map of where all the human feces is in the streets. You think I'm joking? Think about how disease was spread during the medieval times. Besides bodies being thrown over walls with the different diseases that were going on back then. There's just a disconnect that modernity has given us all. It's a sad thing. This is going to be a quick show because it's me alone. I would love to have other people on my show to talk about it, and we'll go as long as I did with Sean and as long as I did with my brother, Baz, back in the day, you know. We talked about things real. We talked about things honestly. That's what we miss, is honest conversation. Now, on Redcon 1 Media, Big Sarge does that also. I can tell you for real, WPRPN, I was going to be on last night, but I've taken my lung medicine, and I'm going to have to take it just because I'm way fuckered up over it. My lungs are still killing me from my last trip to Afghanistan. Just from the, well, everybody who's been to Kandahar knows where that disease came from. But the interesting part, the more interesting part to me, is that these people speak truth. WPRPN with Jaffe, I wanted to be on last night. I wasn't going to soil his show. He knows what the drugs make me sound like. And I'm sure you guys are hearing it now and you're thinking I'm looped to the wind. I'm not. I'm actually just on that damn medicine. But I'm still going to tell you what I think. And just like at the beginning of the show, and I'm about to end this and wrap this up, that was It's Game Time by Axion Ghost. And I always end with, normally I always end with this, with Inside Enemy Headquarters. But today, there's something going on with Facebook. Every one of you have seen this. And I'm going to end with Axe Marks the Spot. It's by Axion Ghost, same guy. Both links, all three links of all those songs are in the description. Please like, share, and comment on his post. He's allowed me to use his music. And if you guys enjoy it, please do that for him. He's a good man, a fellow well met. Before I do that, I will say, yep, you're exactly right. Worship your gods, love your culture as long as it's within the culture of our lands. Don't assume that our culture will assimilate to yours. You chose to come here. We didn't ask you. Become a citizen. Exactly right, Baz. And Cold Warrior, you're exactly right. Fishies. Yeah, they're just little fishies. Interesting how that goes, right? So with that being said, I'm glad you guys stopped by Kaisers Kastle. Took a seat on my big orange couch. Plenty of room for all 175 of you. And I like it small. I don't want to make this page super big. If you want to, you can like, comment, and share. But honestly, that's not the point of this. The point of this is just for me to make a time capsule for my son so that he can say, look how goofy your father was, or my father was for him. I guess his son would be, I'd be his Opa. This was him. It's a time capsule. That's all this is. And I mean that for all of you. I hold you all dear and partial. But you have to understand, when I started this page, it was for that reason and only that reason. And if you want to, like, comment, and share. I don't have handcuffs on any of you guys. You guys can leave and come back anytime you want to, or leave and stay left. It doesn't mean that I think any less or of any of you. As a matter of fact, I respect all of you for at least coming here and giving me a listen. So with that being said, I'm going to play Axion Ghost. Like I said, all three links are in the description. Axe marks the spot. And I will thank you for sitting on my big orange couch, drinking your cup of tea, your cup of coffee. I'm looking at everybody right now in the house. Your adult libations. And I appreciate you all. And I think you all know this. And with that being said, I can honestly say one thing that's very important that a lot of people don't want to say. Shuff out.